Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm your girl Denise Joy. In today's video, I'm sharing tips and tricks to help you transform your wood furniture to give it a brand new life with just paint. I snagged this gorgeous vintage wood chest from Facebook Marketplace for just 30 bucks. And then transformed it with just a couple of coats of paint and this terrific, unique stencil from Esty. Let me show you how I did it. First thing you need to do, besides purchasing your stencil, is to gather your supplies, your trays, 6-inch sponge roller, and of course, your paint. You might even use a stippling brush. I didn't with this job, but that's still an option. Plus, you'll want something to roll excess paint off on. For this job, I used an old t-shirt. You could use a piece of cardboard, but just pick whatever feels comfortable for you. Next, take a clean white cloth and just wipe down the furniture. You'll also need an electric sander, or you could just use a couple of sheets of sandpaper and sand by hand, but to get that first layer of wood down so that the paint will absorb into the wood. Sanding the furniture should take about 15 minutes, but depending upon the size of your furniture, it may take a little longer. Once you're finished sanding, wipe that furniture down again. Use just a little touch of water, not much. And if you have a brush on hand, brush any residue off. You don't want any wood residue left on the furniture because you're getting ready to paint. When loading paint onto your brush and or your roller, you want to do very light coats. Very little paint on the roller and the brush to start. See how you can see the wood through the paint? That's what I mean by light coats. You don't want to put a lot of paint on the first coat. The 6-inch sponge roller is ideal for painting furniture. You want to get this at either a Home Depot, Lowe's, or Ace Hardware, and get the little tray that's a 6-inch tray, although I have used the larger trays when I'm in a pinch. I recommend that you paint at least 2 coats and let the paint dry in between each coat of paint. Ideally, you're going to do a third finish coat, a light layer, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Let the paint dry at least 30 minutes between coat 1 and 2, and an hour after you finish that second coat. The third and final coat of paint is a very light coat. Put very little paint on your roller and light application. Just really subtle. It's almost like a sealant coat, but you're just using the same paint. You want light application because you want the paint to dry and have that custom finish. Let the third coat of paint dry for at least an hour, but preferably 2. While your furniture is drying, get your stencil supplies ready to go. Now we're ready to stencil. Do a pre-lineup of your stencil on your furniture piece so that when you start to paint, you already know exactly where you're going to place your stencil. Pour a small amount of paint in your tray. Using your 6-inch sponge roller, load some paint on there, but then roll most of it off using your old t-shirt. Your stencil is secured using that blue painter's tape. Now you're going to very lightly roll the paint onto the stencil. Trust me, you're going to want to press down hard. Don't do it. It'll create a disaster. Paint with a light touch. Peel one side up, take a peek, make sure that the paint saturation is exactly the way you'd like it. Carefully peel up your stencil and then realign it using the markings on the stencil to get the stencil in the exact right place for the next layer. Don't forget to re-secure your painter's tape. You want that stencil to be flush, to be flat on your furniture surface. Often you do need to wipe off the stencil in between each layer because sometimes paint can bleed through. In this case, I didn't have to do that because I was using very little paint for each layer. Trust me, you can do this. Just take your time. Use the realignment markings already on the stencil to make sure that everything stays level and even, and work your way to the end. To bring this modern finish on this vintage chest full circle, I added a set of brass hardware. It really sets things off. I can't wait to install this in the basement room redesign that I did for episode number 3 of DIY Duo Redesign here on my channel. Be sure to watch the entire episode, but here are a few sneak peek photos just for you. Be sure to hit that like button and let me know what you think of this video by leaving me a comment right down below. And if you have not subscribed yet, hey, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button right below. Thanks so much for joining me, and I can't wait to share my next videos just for you.